Hello, 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 and welcome back to Electricpreneur Secrets, the Electricians Podcast. Happy Tuesday if you're joining us today. I am pumped up. Joe, how are you doing today?
Man, normally I say I'm doing great, but I'm going to double down and say I'm doing even better than that. And the reason why is this. I very rarely ever take time for myself, but I decided that I'm going to be taking a little time to spend some time with my wife and my two girls. We're going to go to the beach, relax a little bit. It feels good to be in a place where you're like, you know what? I'm going to take the time and enjoy the people I'm working so hard for.
I love that, man. Vacation's important. You deserve that. You
Well,
deserve a little
thank you.
beach time. And I'm going to call attention to, like, how do you say that then? If someone says, how you doing? And you're like, even better than great. Is there another expression you would use, or is even better than great? Is that the one?
I would say if someone were to ask me and gun to my head, what do I say? I'd say great doesn't even come close.
Oh, nice. Nice. I actually made a list of this once upon a time because really we're just stuck in autopilot. Like it's always good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. In fact,
Mhm.
this came up earlier in a conversation. Someone said to me, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. That's always a
Mhm.
red flag to me. Oh, there's something
Exactly.
wrong here
Mhm.
because everyone says good. What are you talking about? You ever catch
Mhm.
that? The all right flag?
Actually, there's two things that I wanted to bring up. One was I actually thought of the word from your first question. Literally, how do you say you're better than good? Literally, the closest I could think of is not an English word. It's an
Okay.
Italian concept of io sono abbastanza bene, which is I'm doing so well. It's like a
Nice.
strong underlining under this, like I'm doing very well.
And you mean it.
So, and you say with your chest is kind of like how it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But to say the second point, when you're like, what do you see when someone says that things are bad, or they're like, yeah, I've been better. I actually love that. And the reason being is sometimes when we ask people, like, how are you doing? We're not asking just, do you give us a blind response? We actually care. That's one of the reasons why I love working with Clay so much,
Hmm.
because it's someone else that actually cares to the same depth that I do about the people we're working with. So when we ask, how are you? We fucking mean, how are you doing? Tell
Ah,
us. I want to
nice,
know.
nice. Insert profanity right there. That's the spot.
Amen.
Nice. Yeah. On my
Sprinkle,
list, I had like
little
total
sprinkle.
bliss. You can't say total bliss and not feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Peachy. Peachy,
Peachy
some
keen.
people don't hear, and I'll say it. Peachy, peachy keen. Oh yeah. Yeah, doing peachy, man. You cannot be like you can't say it on a low. Hey
Mm-hmm.
Joe, how you doing? I'm peachy.
Yeah.
Just doesn't fit.
Yep. You're not wrong. You're not
All
wrong. You
right.
almost expect a smile, right?
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, man. Love the energy, and I cannot wait to get into this. So let's jump right in. Today, we're going to continue this talk about the offer, the bottom floor of the business, and offer troubleshooting, because there are some problems that come up. We started to uncover them in the last episode on the Great Monday yesterday. And now we want to
Mhm.
go a little deeper into that. So, guys, would it be wrong of us to want to jump into this with you to help master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service? If we could help you do that, what would happen then?
Sky's the limit. I mean, realistically, the sky is the limit because our goal is if we can serve you at the highest level, ideally, you can not only pass that level to your clients, but to your friends and colleagues as well.
Mm,
This is a ship that, this is a tide that we want to raise all ships.
I love that. I love that. So yesterday we talked about kind of two examples of two different avatars in two different situations where one's kind of underworked and underpaid and one's kind of
Mhm.
overworked and underpaid. So why don't we dive into each here today and dissect a little and help solve these problems a bit. Let's start
Sure,
with
go
the
for it.
early electricpreneur, the person who maybe is not experiencing the same level of confidence. And guys, if you didn't hear the episode yesterday, I really want to urge you to go back and listen to that one. It's going to help a lot with this. There's some huge belief shifts in that one that really are going to be foundational to what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So if you're in this situation again, Joe, to frame this up, where you're kind of early at this, maybe you're having price shock with what your offer became after you realized, hey, if I want to get where I'm going, this has to be a little steeper. I've got to do a little more for me. But that price
Mhm.
shock can often mean a bit of a gap between what you want your customer to see and what you're seeing I put that there intentionally. Do you get that gap, Joe? Can you help us
If,
dissect this a bit?
so the thing is if I'm understanding you correctly, what the customer sees and what you see. Now,
Yeah.
how I'm interpreting that is not what the number is on the paper, but is what is being communicated internally. When I look at a number, let's say you have a platinum plus or your platinum option, you're like, man, this is like the best money can buy. I need to look at that and feel like, wow, I'm undercharging. Like that is like, there's a lot that I'm giving away in this top option.
Yeah.
Because if you can look at your best offer, like they called you for a GFI and your top option is $10,000, you got to be like, wow, this is a good deal. Otherwise, there's no way they're going to want it. You want the customer to not see the number. You want them to see the value.
Mm.
So them going into it and saying like, all right, the number says 10,000, but what are they seeing? They're seeing an emotional solution or a solve to an emotional problem. I want them to look at our solutions and be like, that's what I need. I didn't even know I needed it, but that would make my life so much better if I did that.
100%. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think this is going to tie directly into a conversation we had yesterday in RSS that I thought was really fire as well,
Mm-hmm.
where how they perceive the solutions that you're presenting. I think as electricians, we tend to overcomplicate this in our brains a bit. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're able to see all the details that we are. Now, I'm not even suggesting to be elusive in any way. I hope that's not what I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving away here. It's just that they don't understand what we're doing. So the
Mm-hmm.
value isn't in electrical, honestly. Yes, that's what we do. That's our trade. But the value's in the solutions that you present and them being realized in the way that you communicated they would be realized. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I actually have something specific I want to say to that, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
So, an understanding that I came to when I was starting my business and really coming into like adulthood in a way was you can be a great electrician. You can be an amazing electrician. But if you cannot communicate with clients at the same level that you can perform your work, you'll always be paid under what you're worth. So,
Mm,
like, I was a great electrician, but if I couldn't talk to people because of the neurological things that I have, you'll always end up underpaid. So instead, being able to shift and say, I'm going to communicate at the level that I choose to serve. If I'm going to serve and be a top tier electrical service provider, my communication skills should at least be trained to operate at that same level. Does that make sense?
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. And as you say that, I'm kind of tying this back to the big problem that is here. If we're starting out this way, if we're
Mm-hmm.
starting out with, okay, price is up, value's got to get up, then likely you're experiencing some jitters if you're in this price shock
Mm-hmm.
mentality. And to communicate that premium service without you being attached to it. And what I mean by like pulling yourself into a premium confident mindset,
Mm-hmm.
how the hell is that ever going to work?
So I actually had a particular approach that I found was effective for me.
All right.
And hopefully I can help other people through that.
Love it.
And that is it does not matter which choice they take. We've designed two premium, two mid-range, two economy choices, right? We have the levels that are available. But as long as they choose us at any of those choices, they've made the right choice. And the way that I was able to justify that is this. I know my own character. I know that I conduct myself in a way that I believe to be along an honorable code of conduct. I believe that I'm going to do good quality work with the intention of also providing a good warranty. I'll be reliable. I'll be good communicative. All these things will do. I can control that. I can't control the next guy. I can't control my competitor. But I know if the client goes with me, I'm not going to screw them. I'm going to treat them with integrity. I'm going to give them the best work I can, and I'll keep showing up the right way. So any option they choose with me gets that service, at least to some extent. So even if they took my bottom Band-Aid, they're still with us. So you don't have to necessarily swing for the fences to feel like you're winning.
Yeah.
You put the option out there, but also be okay with an economy, because an economy will often always keep you going into the future.
I love that. Yeah, and you spoke right to that abundance exchange that we're trying to conduct, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
just fair, not just what they expected, but then going above and beyond, showing
Mm-hmm.
up and following up. Man, this stuff's important. So let's go back and do a little step by step here. If you're this person, if this belongs to you, or you know someone that it does belong to, then please listen on and pay special attention to this process. So let's say you uncover your vision and it doesn't match the current offer pricing. So you took our advice from episode 1 and now we're here and you've maybe used the price tool by now and recognized that, wow, I'm shortchanging myself and my service rate by $100 to $200 an hour based on the standards of the home service industry. I've
Mm-hmm.
been charging what everyone else in my area is charging with maybe failure to recognize that they're a high volume producer, maybe doing a lot more work than I am,
Mm-hmm.
and or I'm just following the wrong people for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've established your rate. It's based off your expenses and really a growth rate. So expenses for where you're going, not where you are, because that will leave you stuck in that pot, right? You'll be a plant that can't grow any further. And now you've finally gotten to, I'm going to present, in fact, I'm going to design 6 options. And as I go through them, and how did you say this yesterday? Those options are based on what, Joe?
So as far as I'm not sure exactly what you're referencing, but I do know that when it comes to whenever I describe options, it's from the finest that money can buy to the most temporary or economical we can offer. Even so much as saying this is like the bare minimum legal way we can do it, to this is truly the finest that money can purchase for you. And if you can
Absolutely.
create that range, you're better.
And through all the different ways that I could accomplish this job. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that would be the right way to present. But even you, as you're looking down it, you keep fudging with the pricing, you keep looking at the numbers, and you keep going back to the old way and comparing and ballparking and trying to figure out what's missing here. What's wrong? There's a gap. This is too much. I don't feel good about this. They're not going to like this. And all these emotions start happening. These little voices start happening in your head. And next
Mm-hmm.
thing you know, you're spending 4, 8, 12, 16 hours on an estimate on some options.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that person, Joe?
Well, I mean, other than just wanted to give him a hug and be like, it's going to be all right, because that's a rough
Nice.
situation to be in.
It's a loving
But
moment here on the podcast. I love it.
but the main thing that I take away from it is that that person is not convinced, because I have a feeling that the kind of person that's constantly going back is also the same kind of person that knows a job should take 8 hours, or sorry, that knows a job could take 10 hours, but is going to say, you know what, I'll price it for 8, and if everything goes great, I'll just work a little faster. When really you're like, why? Well, because I don't want to charge this new rate. It's like, okay, so you're just going to kill yourself more and make it up through logistics? Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're that person that's saying, I don't feel like I can do this, I don't know how it's going to be done, I'm going to go back to my statement of, I don't believe you're convinced that you're worth what you're charging. And if that's the case, that requires some soul searching, because the numbers line up. I love math. As a nerd, I love math, because math doesn't lie to you. If you do your formulas right, the answer is the answer. If the numbers say I have to charge this, then that's what I have to freaking charge.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions are completely out of it. That's what the number tells me I got to do. So it's either, do you not believe your number? And if so, then adjust it to accommodate what your reality is. Or if you personally inputted those numbers, believe them and then say, am I worth it? If the answer is yes, you'll find you won't be stressed, because you know, I have to charge this and I believe that I'm worth what I'm charging because of what I'm delivering. Do those two things and the offer stops being a problem.
Yeah, really good, really good. So now unpacking that a bit further, what that's going to allow you to do is get more offers out and
Mm-hmm.
get you out of the mud. And let me just say this again. I'm sure we've heard this before, but if you don't believe in your business so much that you're ready to stand on top of a mountain and say, this is the best there is, this is everything in my market, in my area, I'm the person they need. If you don't have that level of belief, then it becomes very difficult to
Mm-hmm.
stand up to your options, your pricing, your offer, to this
Mhm.
level. Would you agree with that?
I would. And if anything, it's actually a good exercise to take because when you look at it and say, I am the best, or what do I need to become the best? It's the same concept of winning and learning. There is no losing. I'm either winning by operating at that level and acting as is, or I know now what the gaps are to get me to that level. So either way, keep moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And this is so important. So if you can reach that, then we can check that box, say, okay, I believe in this. And you've presented the options, and you're still not sure about the price.
Mhm.
Let's break down what the competitors are doing for a second and really kind of eradicate this a little bit. So
Mhm.
let's say 50% of your market is probably offering just a single option still. Would you agree with that?
That would actually be very likely. I would say probably 50% are doing one, and probably another 25 to 35% are offering a good, better, best at the most, at the absolute most. And even then, it's probably not with a process. It's just there you go.
Yeah, definitely, right? So we can
Mhm.
agree on that, and I bet you can too. And what do they say about one choice? One choice is no choice at all. It's the
Mhm.
ultimatum. As we've discussed in the past, if I give my old lady an ultimatum, I'm on the couch with my tail between the legs tomorrow. You guys are going to see a different level of energy in me.
Yeah, that's the benefit for me. Then you can't tell if I have bedhead or not.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. So we don't want to give our customers ultimatum. Good news is most of your competitors still are. So where's the value? It's beginning already. The moment you committed to presenting 6 options, you're more valuable than other people. What that's communicating through action, through activity to your client is that you don't need to go anywhere else. Like Joe said earlier, every choice is a great choice if you're shopping with us. We love our
Mhm.
customers. And to this extent, even the most bare bones I could offer is going to get the white glove experience.
Mhm.
It might be more on the temporary side of a solution, but it's still going to be a white glove experience. I'm not going to treat you any differently. Would you agree with that, Joe?
I love that you're saying it too, because I feel like not enough people are hearing it. So it's like, if you guys are in the bleachers in the back and you still didn't absorb what he's saying, let's dive into that a little bit more. It's when you truly believe that my level of service is so good that it doesn't matter what level they take, it won't change your perspective of who they are as people, and you won't change your value of them. They're just as valuable in your mind. That's when you've almost hit the sales nirvana, where you're like, you know what? Every option's a great choice when they go with me. And I know no matter what they take, I'm rolling my sleeves up and I'm going to do my best to over deliver.
Totally, totally, totally. So let's say you're still doing the math and it's still not adding up and you're thinking, well, the guy doing 150 an hour is beating me here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe at that lowest option, you might be double his price. You might be hundreds of dollars apart.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about hundreds of dollars. And what you've already demonstrated through your process, if you followed us last week and you've used Demand Call Lotto by now, we showed you a thing or two about where to go first, what to say when, how to do this stuff so that you are different from the competitors again.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, going to the panel, what happens there? Are the competitors doing the same thing, Joe?
No. And the sad thing is this, we literally, one of our clients approached us in the RSS session the other day. And I thought it was really, really cool because he said that while he was working and with a client, he was there for a certain amount of time. And he really built a relationship. Like he felt like he was like, I've been here for like 40, 50 minutes. We have a relationship. I know what they're doing. I know the spouse's name. I knew everything about this home. And he said another competitor showed up as he was like leaving or getting ready to leave, and the competitor was in and out. He timed him in 8 minutes. 8 minutes from
Wow.
knocking on the door to driving away. So, how
And
could you possibly do a thorough diagnosis? How could you possibly come up with a range of solutions? How could you bond and learn about someone?
I want to
I
speak to
couldn't do it
something.
if I was on fire.
Absolutely. If I was on fire, you couldn't do it. Good one. I want to speak to something there too. Like that's the intuitive pull.
Mm-hmm.
That's the gravity that's out there. Unless you're training out of that, you're feeling that too. We were all trained to hurry up. We were all trained
Mm-hmm.
to be a little quicker. Ironically, The person who trained me would say, no, you get good, then you get fast. And then you'd say, what the hell's taking you so long? You ever
Mm-hmm.
experienced that?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, any one of us that ever tried doing new construction, you know what it's like. Like, hey, if you started there, there is never fast enough. I could literally have a cyborg attachment with 4 other arms wiring things. And they're like, look at this guy. He's got to hurry up.
Yep,
When back in my day, I did it faster.
that's right. So if everyone else is doing the get in, get out quick, and email it over later, wow, don't you stand out with this then?
Mm-hmm.
To stick with them, to ask all these thought provoking questions, to be with them in their emotions around real possible solutions that they want. Not that your tech brain came up with and all that we talked about last week as well. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're stumbling on the price of even your bottom option, that's kind of the solution right there. You're going to present more value through your action.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, people will see a difference if you stick with them and run the play. As you go up this ladder, it's harder and harder and more inconceivable for anyone else to even pull apart, dissect what that pricing's made up of. Why? Because they're not electricians. And now, if you're using simplified language in that offer, in those options, again, you've got to step up. So, how much of the competition did we just eliminate now? I mean, we got to be down to the bottom 25% here, Joe.
At least, because I would say 50% are offering one choice and they're already gone. They're the get in and get out kind of people, right? And they're wondering why everyone's so cheap and not responding to their emailed quotes. The other 25% are doing a good, better, best, and maybe they're there for a little bit at best. But the people we're really competing against with are the top 25. We're looking at the ones that are like, who is in my space? Who are the premium service providers in my space? And how can I be better than them? That should be the goal.
100%. I love that you said that. And given that, I mean, it might even be less than 25%, guys. If there's 10 contractors doing home services in your area, you might be down to 1 or 2. And I hope you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if this comes down to personality, I'll take it. Listen, if you like the other guy more, or he ran the play just a little bit better, but I promise you this, if you keep following us, if you use Demand Call Lotto from last week, if you set your vision, set your sights, if you roll with confidence and you're prepared to stand on the top of your mountain and scream, if you do all of this, 80% of the time they're going to choose you. We keep seeing that, and that's the benefit. And you're going to know that the people who chose you, there's an absolute reason behind it. You designed this, you did it with intent. And so you can know, rest assured, that those are your clients. Those are the people. Anything to add to that, Joe?
I mean, other than I think that deserves a mic drop. I
Mic
thought that
drop
was,
moment?
I think that was really awesome. At the end of the day, if you were to say, who are my clients? It's really not a possessive term, but it's more of almost like, these are the people under my wing. These are the people I have been charged to protect. When you can view it that way, you're not charging them to keep their money. You're charging them to prevent them from getting subpar service by going elsewhere. So that when I say my clients, I almost imagine like I am protecting you from what you're not familiar with.
You got to know you're the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
If they choose someone else, like you said, that's out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows what's going to happen then. I mean, we could be subpar, sub safety, sub code compliance, and worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Worse. There's a ton of stories that we've already articulated many times over this, and we'll continue to. Guys, we're running out of time today. So here's what we got to do. We got to split this up. Today was offer troubleshooting number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is going to be offer troubleshooting number 2. Then we're going to go more into the overworked, underpaid side of this, some of the problems that are faced there, Joe, and keep breaking this out. Wouldn't that be the right thing to do for our fans?
I love that. And it's weird to say fans. It's
I
like,
know.
I
I don't
just think we're
usually say
just two. I was like, we're just two guys just sitting around with business addictions and know how to turn electrical tools, but
Especially
hey,
since OnlyFans. It's kind of a dirty word now, even.
hey, no, I'm not judging. I was gonna say,
Friends,
you do.
family, colleagues, fellow electricians looking to improve their business. As you know, that's all we are, just a couple of master electricians with business addictions, trying to
Mhm.
help you guys master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service. Joe, let's spit out some actions and let's get out of here.
Okay, that sounds good. So let's start, I guess, with I can. Do you mind if I take the all stars today?
Do it. Okay. So I'm going to get the action then.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I hope I don't like undermine yours a little bit here, but I really want to speak to this confidence piece. And I'm
Mhm.
going to give you a bit of an exercise for this. As you're coming up with your offer the next time, let's say it's a two call close and you are able to back away. This could be one of the more dangerous situations because you might find that you are spending half your week laying awake at night thinking about, is it the right price? Is this right? Is this right? Forget that. One offer is not going to float your business anyway.
Mhm.
One sale's not going to do this. And that to me is the equivalent of pre diagnosing a demand call, driving down the road in the van, thinking already the price book line item, thinking already what's wrong at their house, thinking already what you're going to sell them. That's attachment to the wrong outcome. That's attachment to a sale. I want you to forget that and attach yourself to proper diagnosis, being the person who runs the play your absolute best so that that 80% just chooses you when it's down to one or two. Did I
I
did I
love it.
completely trample the all-star?
No, not at all. I think that was actually a really, really good one. And I feel like we're constantly raising the bar of what we consider our minimum standard because that's some top tier stuff.
All right.
But for the all-star action, I actually wanted to arm the people listening with the exact line that you can use if you feel like your client doesn't see the value, but you do.
Nice.
So what that might sound like is this. You presented your option, you're like, here are our choices. How would you like to proceed? Wow. You guys are more than your competition, right? And the thing is they're not saying no. But the best part about it is you take a deep, like take an internal diaphragm breath, just this, smile and be like, well, that's actually a great point to bring out. But would you like to know why so many of our clients still choose to use us, even though we're more? And then pause and sit. The reason being is that if you can confidently say, yeah, we understand, we know it's an investment working with us. But do you want to know why so many of your friends and family and colleagues and peers choose to use us anyway? What you're doing is you're saying, I know that I'm a lot, but I also know that it's so worth it. And that if you don't, others will.
And just
Very few people can see the appeal in that and be like, no, I'm not willing to listen. It's usually like, yeah, you got my attention. Okay, well, tell me why. What's up?
and I'm glad you went there because I just wanted to give that the realistic touch of, okay, what are they going to say? Yeah, let's say they say no. Well, then
Well,
what?
that's actually great too. That's actually really great.
Why?
So, well, the reason why is this. If you were a customer and you say, would you like to know why so many of our clients choose to use us even though we're more? And they say no, they're like, okay, I can appreciate your honesty and transparency. Can I ask you a question? Usually like, what? Sure, go ahead. Well, here at Silver Electrical, we believe in giving you the choice of quality, reliability, safety, and customer service. As a result, by adhering to those values, I know that it's going to be more than someone who doesn't. Was I wrong to believe in those values and make the offers that I am? Or would you rather I pack up and you can go with someone who's going to provide a different level of service? How would you like me to proceed?
And I love that because again, I'm just seeing like, are you in our pipeline still? Are you in our funnel? Are we still
Mhm.
engaging or does this completely disqualify me?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, I believe in offering you better levels of service. If you're not interested in that, okay, I can't make you interested in what you're interested in, but I do know what I believe in. And there's a certain standard that I'm going to operate off of. If you want me to go beneath my standards just to accommodate you, we're clearly not the right fit. Because I believe in showing up with almost a three-piece suit and a top hat and a monocle and a cane. Like, I'm not going to change what I'm going to do.
Was that the
So,
Monopoly man? Are
oh
you
my God,
holding
that'd be amazing.
electrical home service electrical monopoly with
How
Joseph
awesome is
McCanny?
that? Yeah, it was
And
more
if
just,
they said a yes, I just wanted to say this, fit this in here, end of the episode. But if they said a yes, I'm guessing it's a simple and similar sentiment.
Yeah, it's along the lines if they say like if I ask, like, you want to know why so many people choose to use us? And they're like, yeah, I'd love to know. I would actually judge it more off the enthusiasm in which they responded.
Hmm.
Because if someone were to say, yeah, I'd be interested, that shows that they're interested, but they're reserved and guarded. And you can proceed with more value. If they're like, yeah, what you got? That's someone who's like, I wasn't expecting anything that you were going to say. I thought I was going to shoot you down. I got nothing. So, based on their voice and tone, would tell you which level of value and how you can move the play accordingly.
Awesome, Joe. Huge value to close this out, guys. You heard it here first on Electropreneur Secrets, where we come and have fun with you every day, try to help you rise up. This has been the Electricians Podcast. I cannot wait to see you guys, hear you guys, talk to you guys again tomorrow. Joe, thanks so much. See
Really
you
my
again
pleasure.
tomorrow.
Take care, guys.